This is the plaintiff, Marlene. She says she rented a garage apartment in a house owned by the defendant's mother. And when her son came to the house one day, she kicked her out and said he was moving in. When she told the woman she'd need more than a few days to move herself, her kid, and her boyfriend out, the man deliberately flooded the place. Everything she had was ruined. And she's suing for $5,000, the amount she's now out. This is the defendant, Andrew Pagliarulo. He says he gave the plaintiff 30 days to vacate the house, and the plaintiff did not comply. In the meantime, a pipe burst. It flooded the place. He had to cut the electricity off and had to have the plaintiff evicted. Bottom line, he doesn't owe the plaintiff a dime, and is pretty sure the judge will agree. He's accused of lousy landlording.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome in.
Marlene, you've asked us to omit your last name. You are suing Andrew Pagliarulo for $5,000, $4,000 of it pain and suffering, and the rest of it your damages for having to put things in storage, wasted food, U-Haul, movers, etc., because according to you, he should not have removed you from where you were living. Tell me what happened.
In November, I rented this place from his cousin. I lived there for 7 months.
Did you have a lease?
No, I didn't have nothing.
So
we
it was
went
month
rent
to month.
rent.
Okay.
Right, month to month. After 7 months, I came home from work. He was in the driveway. He said that he's the owner's son. All right, fine. So he said he wanted the rooms because he was going to move in there with him and his wife and his kids,
Okay.
which I lived in the garage part. A week later, they decided that I should not be there no more.
Okay.
So then I said, you got to give me time to move out because I just can't move out.
When were you told that you needed to move?
In May, like the end of May.
End of May?
Yeah, like May
according to-
27th, around there.
Were you behind in rent?
No,
Okay.
no, and I've had security there too,
Okay.
which I got back.
Okay.
But on that date, he said he wanted me out. Then a week later, the apartment mysteriously started flooding. Thinking,
Wait, it started flooding from where?
well, when the kitchen was in that area, they had a washer and dryer. So next to my kitchen was their washer and dryer hookup,
Okay.
which they turned on, and the water kept coming. So one day I
I mean,
thought,
are you suggesting it was sabotage, or like they did it on
well,
purpose?
when I first moved in, we had a flood, and that's caused the flood.
So then that makes it sound like it's not sabotage.
well,
like it just
you
kind of
could
happened.
turn the water on and just leave it.
So it's literally like turning a faucet on,
Yes, basically.
but you don't know if there was a washing machine on that side or there wasn't. And when you said, well, at the beginning there was a leak that was from the washing machines, well then how was that leak occurring? Somebody turned it on then?
Yes. Yes.
To ruin your life then too?
No, it was a valve that was broken, and that Aaron fixed it.
So when he tells you to leave, according to you, it's at the end of May. According to you, it's when?
I believe it was May 15th.
Do you have any evidence of when you told her to leave?
I do have a letter. I did not tell her to leave. This is my mother's house.
Whatever. Do you
I
have
was
any
moving
evidence of
in.
when she was told that she wanted to leave?
My mother
I mean, I
drew-
presume you're your mother's representative here. Otherwise, why are you here? Is that correct?
Yes.
Does she know that this is about her house?
Yes.
Did she give you authority to go into the house and tell everybody they had to go?
No, she just told me that I was allowed to move into
Did she know that people were renting out her house? At the
No.
so she didn't even know the cousin was renting out the
No.
house.
No.
And what does the cousin say about all that? Does the cousin... Well, what did you... Wait a minute. Did you say to your cousin, who do you think you are? What were you doing?
We cannot get a hold of my cousin. She
just
is
split with the
MIA.
money?
Yes. She is laying low. She's basically saying that she had nothing to do with it. There's a police report that I have that I had the police, my sister, when this first started happening, went to the police and said there's people in my mother's house, believe that my cousin is moving
Lord.
people in there and accepting rent from these people.
Why is there not somebody using it or
Mine-
renting it or something?
Okay, well, My father passed away.
Okay, I'm
And
sorry.
My mother, basically was in a hard time.
A hard time emotionally.
And she was having a hard time paying the electric bill and the water bill and the gas
So
bill.
she let the cousin live there in order to pay the bills?
No.
Okay.
They all left. My mother closed up the house, stopped
But
paying.
closing up a house is not like, an envelope. You don't just, somebody has to still pay a mortgage and yet not live there.
No, that's still
So
happening.
who was paying the mortgage?
My mother.
And yet not living there?
No.
You want to come up and help out because I don't understand anything here. Go ahead.
His grandmother is in Florida, and she's suffering from Alzheimer's. His mother was taking a temporary break in Florida to take care of his grandmother.
That's an
She
answer.
needed to clear her head. She was having a hard time after the death of his father. She was only going to go for probably 6 months.
Okay.
So we shut the house, closed, packed up her
How
stuff,
did the
locked
niece
it.
get in there to do?
She had a key because she previously lived with his mother. So his mother left, went to Florida. Over the winter time, the niece went in and started, first she rented it to Marlene, then she rented another portion of the house to someone else, then she rented...
Did you guys even know she was living there?
No. She wasn't living there. She was only renting the
Renting
house.
it out.
She was living at her own house. She rented every bedroom, every
You
bedroom.
gotta
She was
have some
collecting
serious
6.
hubris to do this. How did you end up finding out?
We went there because we decided that we wanted to move into the house with our kids. He got a job in the
And
city.
then it's like, who's been sleeping in my bed?
We walked into the house. We
and
walked,
a bunch
the
of
keys
people
didn't-
renting out
exactly.
like a flop house.
We went to the house. The keys didn't work, and we said someone changed the locks, and then we discovered all these people. So we have a police report. We went to the police that day, and then we do have a letter from his mother. So we went to the house and told them all they all have to go.
Okay.
His
And
mother was never
when did
receiving.
you tell everybody everybody's got to
May
go?
2nd was the first day we told everybody. May 2nd.
Did you ever put it in writing for them?
His mother put it in writing on May 15th, and I personally handed that letter to every
Each and
resident
every
in the
person.
house. Yes,
All right.
with
If
the
the
police
person
report.
wasn't there, what did you do?
I slid it under their door.
Okay. So Marlene, according to you, it's May 27th. According to them, it's May 15th. And then what happens? When do you leave?
What? The end of July probably?
That's 2 months.
In the beginning of July, maybe. I
When did
stayed
she
there
leave?
after they started flooding us.
There was an
Yeah.
eviction case. His mother hired a lawyer. She was served a 10-day notice petition.
When was that?
That was July 8th
never-
was the first notice. She was served. We gave you proof, and we also have proof of
Okay.
service.
So she served on July 8th. She was still
served
there.
on June 8th. Then,
June 8th.
Yep.
June 8th.
Then
Okay.
she got another service for a court date for the actual eviction was supposed to be July 21st.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden she left on her own with a U-Haul in the driveway on
But-
July 12th.
So, okay, so you
July
know the
12th.
date she left was
Yep,
July
because we
12th.
have
Does that
pictures.
sound right?
That sounds
okay.
right.
So, did you
3
pay
weeks.
rent in the month of June
3 weeks
or
now.
July?
For those 3 weeks now.
Okay, July 12th is not 3 weeks. Do you understand that there's a month called June between May and July?
They told me on May 27th I gotta leave.
Even if it's May 20th, okay. So, did you pay May rent?
No.
Did you pay April rent?
I wasn't there for 2 months, though. I only lived there for 3 weeks for free.
All right, so now they tell you have to leave, and I guess you're having trouble finding another place?
Yes.
All right.
I went to real estates and stuff like that, so I asked them, could you give me time? I
Right.
have 3 people and 2 cats. It's, you know what I mean? It's hard to find. They didn't give me 30-day notice. Then they started flooding me.
Okay,
They-
and your evidence that they flooded, did you call the police or
Yes,
the
I
city
got
when
police reports.
things got flooded?
I got a
Do
police
you have
report.
a picture of the flooding?
Yes, I do.
Let me see that.
Can I show you on my phone?
Yes, please.
Yeah, because they took pictures off our phone. Our phone looks bad. I got mildew. I had an inch and a half of water, so I had to put all my stuff in a storage unit.
What happened with the flooding? Do you know?
There's a broken pipe on her side of the apartment.
On her side of the
Yeah.
apartment.
He
And what
came
was
in
it?
and-
Wait a second. And how was it broken?
We don't know what was going on with the house for 7 months. We came in to fix up the house, and, she said there's flood in the apartment, so he went and checked it out.
Before that, they shut my electric
She called the
off.
police. The police saw that
Did you
there
ever
was
shut the electric?
The town building inspector shut the electric.
That was
On account of what?
On the account of, there was a time that when I went into the house in June, I started making repairs to it, and when I opened up the breaker panel, there was a breaker in there that was overloaded with wires, so I had to take a breaker out in order to make that repair.
How long was the
She
electricity
did
off?
not lose full power. She lost partial power to a part of the garage. I believe it was maybe the upstairs.
No, it's the whole
So
downstairs.
she had extension cords strewn all over the apartment, and then when the water leak happened, she called the police, and they looked at it and said, this is unsafe. You need to
What's
leave. You need-"
this?
She was
when I was in
in
the
the hospital because of the mildew.
So they said, you need to find a new place to live. We can get you emergency housing, but they chose to stay there with no electric.
How many days was it with no electricity?
30 days until
How
they
many
left.
days?
30
3
days
weeks.
until they left. The electric or the water
I thought
could
it
not.
was during a repair that you had to do.
No.
The town inspector, the town building
Show me
inspector
proof
shut
that
it
the
off.
town inspector
It's
shut
on
off the
police
electricity.
report that we handed
I
to you.
handed in a police report.
They
We
wouldn't
don't
give
have
us
it
another
here.
copy.
I have one.
I have one.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. We are in Los Angeles. Decided to do this in front of the TMZ Hollywood tour bus because wanted to talk to tourists from all over the world about our cases. We'll start with this. So you got a woman who is renting a place that has no electricity for 30 days because the city turned it off. Does she have to pay rent if she lived there?
No,
Why?
because that's unlivable conditions. You can't really do a whole lot without electricity.
You can call it unlivable, but she lived there.
The landlord's responsible for upkeeping the dwelling. She shouldn't have to pay.
Huh. Okay, going inside the courtroom.
So you want them to pay you $4,000 in pain and suffering, $405 for storage fees.
I had to put all my stuff in storage.
Yeah, but...
Or it's gonna get ruined.
But you were there more than 30 days. At best, if June 30th is when your rights end, how is it that you are asking them to pay July and August storage fees? Why would anyone have to pay your storage fees? And the answer is they don't. The U-Haul, tell me, the U-Haul is because you had to move. Right, but you had to move. See, you don't own the place. You're renting it month to month. So the movers, same problem. You don't get that. Wasted food is because of what? Because of the
When they shut my
electricity
electric
shutdown?
off, yeah.
And the electricity, according to the police, was shut off by the building
Ours
inspector.
was shut off also, you know.
They shut it off just to push me out of their apartment.
I hear what you are saying to me, but I see that it's different. You're telling me they shut it off before, but then I'm reading. Reporting Officer Miller observed a hazardous condition in that there was about 1 inch of water throughout the apartment with numerous electrical boxes and wires running through the same. Power to the garage area was turned off by the authority of the building inspector. What are you suing them for? You want them to pay you $5,000? Why?
I want them to pay for what they did to me. I mean,
She never paid rent to his mother once since the day she moved
All
in.
right,
never
all right,
paid-
Hold on. What's the relationship between you two?
my daughter.
Okay. What happened to you that I see you wearing a nebulizer?
I have asthma, and because I was breathing in the mold,
You have asthma and you stayed there?
I had no
We
other
had no
place to
go.
go.
But that's so hazardous for your
But
health.
my cats, I'm not leaving. That's my family.
Oh, it's about the cats.
I'm not going to leave my family.
Well, no, you should be
They
hospitalized
gave us
instead.
the Hamptons, emergency house to the Hamptons. You know how far the Hamptons is to?
Can I have emergency housing in the Hamptons?
How do I get to work? You
Okay.
know?
Listen, I'm sorry for your situation, but that doesn't entitle you to have them pay you $5,000. In fact, you are not counterclaiming for rent for the time that she
No, we're
was
not
there.
getting anything from rent, none of the damage, none of the things they stole when they
Okay, we're
left.
done. On this lawsuit, verdict for the defendants. Good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, what are you thinking coming out of the courtroom when you heard that gavel come down for the defendant there?
It is what it is, I guess.
Are you serious? That's all you've got after all that?
I wanted, pain and suffering for what they did. I didn't, I shouldn't have lived like that, which they did.
Why'd you hang in there that long?
Had nowhere to go.
Asthma? Cats?
I love my cat. That's my baby.
Okay. All right, so step right in here. I'm satisfied how this is.
Oh, yeah, I think
this
everything
point?
went pretty well, I mean, the evidence was there. Obviously, they weren't supposed to be there, so what happened was good.
What do you do with the place now?
The place now, we still have to fix a lot of stuff up that was damaged, and basically, me and her are trying to make a life with our kids there.
Good luck.
Thank
Over
you.
to Harvey.
By the way, if the landlord did this out of revenge, shut off the electricity, he'd be in big trouble. What was the mantra again?
If you stay, you pay.
I love it. That's like a 60s mantra, right? Stay, you pay. Stay, you pay. Keep going.